Hello friends, my name is SagarMore and today in this video we are going to cover HTML tables, its all tags and its attributes. So let's start. As you can see on my screen, we have opened the HTML chapter from W3 Schools today. So this is the example of table. You must have created tables with the help of Word document, or you must have seen it in the PPTs, means PowerPoints, or you are somehow aware of the tables, what tables are and how to create those. But in HTML we will need some kind of code to generate this HTML. What code we will need is something like this. I have clicked on try it yourself editor, ignore CSS for now, and this table tag, as you can see on my screen, is the tag to generate this table. So obviously table tag is a semantic tag which tells itself that what it does, and it does create table. We will see how we can create and generate different types of tables, and we can apply styles to it as well. Let's start from the beginning. Step by step you will get to know how to create it. So the first thing, table tag. Table tag is an non-empty tag that you have to close. Here tables tag is started and here it has ended. Inside the table tag you should not be writing any div tag, paragraph tag, or h1 tag, or any other tag directly, because table tag has rows and column structure, in which you should be creating rows first, and inside that whatever number of columns you need, you can just do that with the help of th or td tag. We will look into this. First create the table and start with the tr tag. Let me click on this try it yourself editor and you can see the output. From the beginning, if I want to start, I will delete this style tag and I will let you know how table looks when there are no styles implemented. So as you can see on my screen, this is the table tag and it does not have any borders. Let me create it from the deleting this code, and I have deleted all the code from here, and I will write my own table tag. Here is the table tag. Here I have closed it since it is a non-empty tag, and inside that, with the help of indentation, I am writing tr tag. So what this tr means, which is table row. So the full form of tr is table row. Table row creates a table and it's creates a row to it. You will not be able to see the output since table does not have any border to it. So for now, in order to see the border effect, we have to give border attribute. We can give it with the help of style as well. And tr tag we have created inside the table, in which I will be writing th tag. Th is table head. You can consider it as a column as well. And let me try some test column name. Yes, here you can see the test column is created since there is only one column we have created. And if we don't apply this border, then you won't be able to see the border anyways. So I will keep this border for now, and let me create multiple columns like this. And here you can see the columns created. What you have to consider here is you should not miss any closing tag, like th is closing tag here, tr is here getting closed, and table is also. So make sure that you do not miss this, because this is very important. Since we are able to generate a first row and columns in it, what we can do is we can generate the second row as well. Like this, we just copy the first row from start to beginning and paste it below the previous row, and this is the new row I created. Now you must have noticed that these are in bold, and if you don't want it to be bold, you can just change it to td, which is table data. So generally the best practice is to highlight the columns or column names, you can say, with the help of th, which is table heading, to give the headings to each column, and whatever data you have, you can put it in td, which is table data. Once you do that and run it, it will not have that bold effect. Now I will change these names like serial number, then name. Let's say here it is mobile, here it is email, and here it is address, let's say. Now column names had changed and you can see it in the output. The same way, the below tr which contains the data, you can change that as well, like this. Okay. Yeah, you can see the columns are getting created and the data as well is getting created. And let's say you want more data, you just copy this row and paste it again and again, and you can see this output. So this way you can create the tables, and let's say you want to change the name from last column, last row, you can just change it like this way and it gets changed. So there is nothing a big deal. You can create columns easily and table rows as well inside the table tag. So I just explained what TD stands for, which is table data. TR stands for table row, and we have created this example table TR, TD or TH, right? Yeah, TR stands for table row, that I also covered. Now table headers, TH stands for table headers, that I also covered. And here the first topic is done from the table chapter. Now the second topic is borders. Here I have just shown you how border attribute works, right? So the same way, if you, let's say, want to give more border to the table or less border to the table, you can just do that with the help of style. So this is the internal or inline style which you can write to table tag, th tag and td tag as well. So it is separated by comma and it is called as group selected, and with the help of this you will be able to write border to it. Border 1 pixel solid black is the syntax. This is the way you write it. If you want to change the color, you will be able to do it. And we are applying it to td. So yeah, these are tds, so border is getting applied to that. We are applying to th, so here is th, and for that also the border is getting applied, and we are applying border to table as well, so the whole table also has border in it. Let's say if you don't want this table and if you run the code, the outer border has gone. If you don't want this ts, and border is gone for the ts, and the same way if you don't want to apply the border for td, the td is gone. But if you want both, you will be able to do that as well. Now if you notice, the border is applied but the table width is 100% in this. Previously when we have not given any width, it was like this, so whatever the content is, the width was till that point as only. But here when I applied style attribute to it and given width is equal to 100%, so it has occupied the 100% of width of the screen. If I resize it, you can see it is getting occupied 100% of the screen, whatever it is. Okay, so we just saw the border, but in order to collapse the border, collapse means in order to have a thin border across the table, not only THTD or table, we can just give this border collapse property and value combination. And let's say if you don't want that, you will be able to see the old border which you just saw. And if you want to collapse, that means have thin border, then you can just use border collapse property and the value is collapse only. And if you run it, it will have a thin border. Okay, so this is the way to give the border. Now style the tables borders, and you can style the columns as well. So let's see what it has to offer us. Now let me open the code. Okay, as you can see on my screen, we have table with background color, and why it has background color is because of this code. It says table heading and table data should have background color of this color code, and it is getting applied. Now border collapse also we have applied, but border is of white color, that's why you are seeing white color here. I don't think there is much here to learn. Let's move. Okay, So the next topic is round table borders. So the round table borders, which are borders that you can apply to the table th and td. You just have to use border radius property and you can just play with the pixels to have more rounded borders. Let's say I don't want that much border rounded, and we will change it to 5 pixel and you can see the border is getting changed. So this is the way to apply rounded border. Now let's say if you don't want this outer border to the table, in that case what you can do is, since you don't want the outer border, you don't apply it to table tag, right? And it will look like this. Okay, now let's consider this topic, which is dotted table borders. So do you remember where we have applied this 1 pixel solid black or red, where the pixel represents how much thick or thin border it should have? The color is at the last, but there is something more in the middle which is solid, which creates a solid border. Instead of that, let's say you want a dotted border, so you can just click here, do this as a dotted border, run it, and you can see the border is now dotted. Okay, now there are other options also, like you can apply dotted, dash, solid, double, groove, ridge, inside, outside, none, hidden. There are many, so you can do that specifically to th and td as well. Then border style properties also there, which can just take the border style, and you don't need to apply how much pixels or what color of border you want. You can just specify with the help of style and it will consider black border as default and 1 pixel of size. So this looks like this. Border style is also a property. All these properties and value combinations we will learn in our css series as well. For now, just look how we can apply those. Now border color we have already seen, but this is a special property altogether. You don't need to use 1 pixel solid red to the border property. Here is the property for border color separately, where you can just give the color, just like this property where you were able to give the style only. Now you will be able to give color only, and this way you can apply any color to the border separately. So border style solid, color this, and if you want to merge it together, what you can do is you can write border 1 pixel or 2 pixel, whichever way, solid, and this color I want, let's say I will write this and it will have the same effect. Yeah, and instead of 1 pixel, let's say you want 2 pixel, then also it works. Okay, I think I am clear on this. So now what you can learn is table size. We have already seen by default it contains what content it has, and that much of width only. But if you want, if we just increase the width to 100%, that also we have seen. And now let's see what all other options we have. So we have done this tile 100% and it takes the full width. Okay, so the same way here table column width also we can give. So column is nothing but the table heading or table data, and we can apply style attribute to that as well. So width is 70% here to first name column, which is the very first column in the whole table. And I must mention this, that when you consider the first column for the width, and whatever width you give, it gets applied to entire column. So let's say the second column here on my screen has increased its width, then second and third rows columns also will have that much of width. Let me show you with the help of example. So here is the example where width 70% is given to the first name, and you can see for Jill, Ao, John, the width is getting applied. Let's say I don't want this much of percent, and let's say I want only 40%. It is also getting applied. I want, let's say 60%, that is also getting applied. So that does not apply for only first name. but entire column, which is this table heading, this table data, this is table data, and this join table data, because they are in first column, right? And column is the vertical thing and row is the horizontal thing, and we are saying column, so this is vertical, and it will take whatever width we have applied to the very first column. Let's say you do not apply here, but you want to apply it for ZIL, then also it will consider, and all columns will adjust it accordingly, since they are in the one column only. Okay, now let's move to the next topic, which is table row height. We just saw how we can give table column height. Now row height, if you want to do it, the table row is for that only. Tr is the tag where you can give the style and height, whatever you pixels you want. So here it is given for 200 pixels. So for this particular tr, which is the very first, it will consider 200 pixel. Let's say you don't want that much and want 100% pixels, sorry, so it is getting applied to that particular row. Likewise, you can have more rows and their height as well set, but it is not necessary to apply height and width always to the table. If you just say 100% of the screen, that also works if you want 100%, but if you want to specify how much percent you want, you can specify with height and width. Okay, so the next chapter is table headers. We have already seen how th works, and these are the columns. Let's say you don't want these columns horizontally, but you want columns vertically here. But column is the thing which is considered as vertical only, right? And rows are horizontal, and that's true when whenever we are talking about the code. tr and td works the same way what we are talking about. So tr is row, td or th is column, but here they are saying all the tables are not styled this way. Some of them can be styled this way, where headings are at left hand side and each row has a heading. The same way, there is another example which says, oh, headings can be here as well as a column, and as well as on each row's first table data or table heading. Whichever way they want us to create the table, we can create. Just remember that wherever you want the heading, use table heading tag, which is th tag. Okay, so let me open the code. Here it is, and this is the general table which we have already seen, where headings are at the top. With the help of th, we have created the headings, and if we want vertical table headings, then we can write th here, 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 and all the rows of first td or th will have these headings, since we have used th tag for heading for very first data for each table row, and that's why headings are now looking like this. And headings does not only apply um, bold effect, but also apply center effect, and that's why you can see the other text is aligned left hand side, but these headings are aligned at centers only. So text heading center is by default applied to all the th tags. Now align table headers, so I just said by default it has center whenever you use th tag, but let's say you want to align it, then you can consider this th selector and text align left or right. You can write, if you write left, then it is aligned to left, but if you write let's say right, then it will move to the right hand side. And if you don't write anything, it will take center as a text alignment. Yeah, here it is. Okay, just a second. Okay, so what we have next is headers for multiple columns. Yeah, so this is called as col span and row span. Col span is column spanning, means extending our columns and having width of another column as well. so you can expand it to any column whichever way you want. But same thing can be applied to row span as well, which is to span the rows vertically and span the columns horizontally. Since this is one column, two columns, but this first column is spanned to two, that's why it has taken column of this and this together, because it is a common heading for both, since this is first name and last name. Let me show you how it works. So for first table heading, which is this name, for first heading we have applied attribute col span, which is column span is equal to 2. And when you do that, what it does is it considers its first column as 1 and its next column, which is this column, vertically you have to imagine this column as a 2, and that's the way it works. So 2 means its own column, which is this one where it started, and the second column as well, and it will span accordingly. Only the thing is you have to delete one of the columns, because if you keep that, even though you have this whole span 2 written, let's say last name, then it will break the view. See, at the age column it is disturbed layout. And why we delete these, because let's say we don't have any row span, col span, and table is fine. So this is an example of a working table where name, last name, let's consider it as a first name. So the first name, last name, age, these columns are there. For these columns, these rows are there, each row has data in it. And let's say tomorrow there is a requirement where they ask for merging these two columns together, because they don't want first name and last name column, but they want name column only. In that case, what you can do, you can just say this particular column will have name value in it, and it is going to take this column space as well, since this column has to span till this. So its own column is first and the second column is the 2 count. So 2 column count of col span it will need. So I will write col span is equal to 2, and it will work. But if you don't delete this table heading, which is not required anymore, because this particular first column only going to span its width till second column, and that's why we don't need it. So we have to delete it. But if you don't delete, the table will not look good. This is actually age column, but it is saying last name because we have not deleted it, and that's why we have to delete it. And now if you see, the name column, which is the first column, has col span of 2, and it is merging together now for both these columns, and it is a common heading here. Okay, I think you got the point. The way col span works, let me tell you one example. Like, I don't want this age column and I want this name column to be spanned to 3, then it will be the common heading for all, right? So I hope you got the point. And we will move to table caption, and we will see row span as well. How table caption works? Okay, so the caption tag is there for the table tag, which tells the browser or the user what heading is for table. And I'm not talking about th here. I'm saying in what context the table is created here. So whatever use case the table has, let's say the table of monthly saving or table of trading view, or whatever you want to give, like table of employees, that particular caption you can give to your table with the help of caption tag. It is semantic tag, it tells what it does, and that has to be there inside the table tag. And here you can keep that, and when you write it, your text should be inside the table tag opening and table tag closing tag only. And whatever you write, it will have effect as a heading of the table at the top. And yeah, so this chapter is also ended. Now padding and spacing chapter we have. Okay, so if you look at my screen here, with padding and with spacing example is there. Whenever we say padding, I explained this earlier, margin and padding difference. Margin applies to the outer of the element, and padding applies inside the element, and around the content. The same way, when we say cell padding, there is a concept called as cell padding in the table. When we apply cell padding to it, so each cell, so this particular square area which is created with the help of th or td is called as cell. Each cell has content in it, right? And around that content, if you look, there is some space, and this space is nothing but cell padding. Whereas in the other diagram, if you look at it, here content is there, but there is no space around the content. The borders are attached or very close to the content. But if you look at it, this time content does not have any space around it, but the whole cell, whole square box, whole table data or table td or th has space around it. So each cell has space around it, and this table, this is created with the help of table cell spacing. So this is cell padding, where we give padding to the td and th elements, since they create the cells. And whatever padding you want to give, you can give, like in pixels. I will reduce it to 5 pixel, and you can see the output. And if you don't want it, you can remove it, and this will look like this. The same way, you can give different paddings to each side. Let's say padding top 10 pixels, so from top it has 10 pixel of padding, from bottom it has 20 pixels, that's why there is more space. And if you want padding left 30 pixels, so here it is left 30 pixels, padding right 40 pixels, so from here 40 pixel, which is much padding from the right side, and that way you can give it. Okay, so you understood what does it mean by cell padding. Now let's see what is mean by cell spacing. That is very simple. For whole table, you just have to apply one property, which is border spacing. And from where the border starts, so border also starts from this table tag itself. For this td and th also the border is there. So wherever the border is, each border have space between another border, and that is done with the help of this border spacing. And whatever pixels you give, let's say I am giving right 10 pixel, each border from another border has 10 pixel of width, and this way border spacing works. That is called as cell spacing. Let's move to the next chapter, which is call span and row span. We just saw a call span example. Now this is we saw this example, which is an example of call span. Now this is example of row span, where 3 rows, first, second and third, is spanned by this April table cell only. And here if you look at the last table, which is the third one, here call span 3 is written because 1 2 3 3 columns is there, and it has 3 columns call span. And this fiesta has 2 row span, which is first this row and this row, and it is considering that row span as 2. But if you look at it carefully, it also has call span. So both it has call span and row span, because it is considering this particular 2 columns as well, and it is spanning itself to these 2 columns and these 2 rows as well. So let's see how we can create that. Now row span example is here, where you can see this phone number is spanned till the second row, because it was a part of first row. Like let me show you. So let me remove this first. So this phone 1 is there, and the same way it was supposed to have phone 2. Now this is a normal table. Let's say we don't want this phone and phone 2, and we want to generalize these two things by merging the cell. What we can do, we have to give row span, because rows are one by one horizontally given, and we want this particular heading for this row and this row as well. That's why row span is equal to 2, and it will consider, but we have to delete this, because if we don't delete it, will look like this, and which is a disturb layout. And since this heading only going to take this space as well for the second row, we have to delete it, and let's see the output, and it is working fine as expected. So this is row span, and let's say you want to give row span and call span together. Here they have not given example, but I will give. Let's see. Okay, so this particular thing has a row span. Let's say we want col span as well. So let me create another column here, which is x, y, z. Okay, that got created. Here some number, then here some number. Okay, this is what we have. And now I want this phone to be uh, to have space of this particular two, this one and this one, these two columns also it should consider. So what we can do, we have to count the columns first. How many columns we want to span? This is the first column, means this is the first column, this is the second column. Column is vertical thing, so this whole thing from here to here is first column, this is second column, and we want this font to be on second column. And if we move this or merge these, this one and this one, then we have to delete this, because this phone number is going to span across this also, and it will have two columns width. So for the phone, row span is already there, but I am applying col span is equal to, here what I will do, I will give 2, because this is first column and this is second, which space it has to take. But what about this one? And that's why we have to delete not only this but this also, so that this phone will consider these two sections as well. So let me delete first this col span, because it creates the column, and let me delete this col span as well, because it creates the column. And now see the output. This phone has col span 2, which is this and this column of spanning, and row span 2, which is this and this row as well. So col span, row span together we can apply. Okay, here our row span, col span chapter is ended. Now table styling and call group chapters are remaining. Let's see that. What does it mean by table styling? We have already seen how we can apply styles with the help of internal inline or external styles. What they have given is the pseudo class selector. So whatever you write with the single colon, like hover, link, these are the pseudo classes. There are pseudo elements as well, which we will see in future. For now, let's consider this nth child, which is even, and for each even table row, they want to say colon nth child, means which child, and that we have to mention here, or every even child. So whatever even values are there, for those like 2, 4, so this is the first row, and that's why I said, they said that only for even rows. So this is uh, even, like this is first, second, third, like that. So if you look at it, only for second, fourth, it has applied this color. You can give color like this, and it is getting applied. For odd values there is no color, but if you want, you can give here like this odd, and this color. See, for odd and evens we have given the colors. Okay, so this way you can style the elements. Let's say if you want to give the styling to table heading or table data, or to both, you can just use group selector. For each even td and th, they are applying this color, then it is getting applied. Let's say we want for odd columns, then it works like this. Okay, now let's consider, yeah, this effect where zebra strips are there, right? Means odd even combination. What they have done, for each table row, and whichever row is even number, apply this color. And for table data, which is column vertical, for even table row and table data, we should apply this color, and this creates this zebra effect. That is easy. So horizontal dividers, yeah, so we have given border property, but instead of that, if we give border top or border bottom, it creates border to bottom only, and we have to apply it to tr only, not td or table, because we want this particular effect for each table row. And for each table row, the table border table row border bottom is there, and whatever border we have applied, it will get here. Okay, let's say I want border top, it works. Now we don't have border bottom here for the last. Okay, yeah, but the same way you can do it for border left as well. And for each table row the border left is getting applied. So instead of table row you want for table data, for each table data it will apply. You can play with it. Okay, this is something new to you, I guess. We have seen this in anchor tag chapter, which is link chapter. What it does is when you hover or move your mouse to any tr, it will change its colors. That's why hover sort of class is there. And yeah, it is working as expected. This is the okay. Let's move to the next chapter, which is table group, and this is last chapter today of today's table topic. This is something new to you. So call group is the tag which groups the columns together. Here it is shown for Monday and Tuesday. They have grouped it with the help of this particular color background, and call and style attribute we will be using. Call is the tag for which we have applied style attribute, and we are saying background color this, but for whom? So this call group is there which tells the table tag. So call group is a child of table, and inside the call group we have given call style, call element, call tag, to which we have applied two attributes, span to and style. Inside style we have given background color, that is already known to you. But what is this attribute span is equal to 2 does is spanning means expanding its area up to two columns. So this is first and this is second. So first and second means Monday and Tuesday, and for them only they are applying this, and this is the way they group the columns. See the output. If you want three columns, you can give it like this. Okay, good. Okay, so these are some legal CSS properties which you can use to call group, like width, visibility, background, or border. And multiple columns you can also consider, like this one. A column for first two it should have this color, and for next three columns after these two we can have this. So for Monday and Tuesday this color will get applied, and for other threes pink color will get applied. See the output? Yeah. So for first two, which is first two, this color is getting applied. For next three means from here, whatever next three columns are there, for them it is applying this color. Let's say you want to apply pink color only to these three columns, and you don't want to apply any color to Monday and Tuesday, then also you have to give span 2, but this time you will be applying white color, and this way it works. Now we are into the chapter, and let's see. Yeah, I just showed you how you can change it to white color, or if you don't want, you can just give call span 3. So for first three columns it will not apply any color. See, it has not applied any color, and instead I applied white color. That is also okay until and unless you don't have any other color uh, as a background for default view. Okay, so for 3 it has not applied any color, and for these two it has applied pink. So this is call group, and if you don't want to show the columns all together, for let's say next three columns, here they are saying visibility collapse means first two columns it will be seen, you can see Monday and Tuesday, but you don't see these columns like Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, which are next three columns, and for them they have given visibility collapse and it hides it. Okay, we are at the end of our table chapter. Yeah, we have covered table, border, size, headers, padding, spacing, call span, row span, table styling, and table group also. Tomorrow we will consider this table list as our tomorrow's topic. For now I think we are good to close this session, and I hope you like this video. If you like it, press like button. I request you to subscribe to my channel, because whenever I upload a video or I come online, you should get a notification and you will get to learn a lot of things. So subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon as well. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family and or whoever is interested in web development, because it will help them a lot. And thank you for watching. Thanks. Bye.